Hi, welcome to this episode of Herald Cafe. Today we have Anwesha Singbal. She is the esteemed president of Konkani Bhasha Mandal. She also had a Sahitya Academy Yuva Puraskar award for her poetry. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Regarding your work with Konkani Bhasha Mandal, it's been the second term that you were elected as a president. Out of 12 talukas, all these people have elected you. I would like to know what are your plans for popularizing Konkani literature among people?
Yeah, so basically Konkani Bhasha Mandal is a 60-year-old organization. So whatever work is, is happening beforehand, before say I take up as the president, continues. It's a legacy that I have to trade. So there are a lot of things that are already in pipeline, things that were already happening, and I think for last several years, Konkani Bhasha Mandal has focused more on children and on Konkani education. So I was also the secretary in the earlier term, and I have been part of the work earlier. So this work is continuing, and we have a lot of educational songs, educational literature in pipeline. We are focusing on generating some biographies of Konkani writers and Konkani personalities, especially for children. And a lot of audio-visual work, a lot of content creation is on, especially for children, and especially considering the new educational policy that we all are looking forward to. Apart from this, we have a lot of annual programs that would now start again post COVID. My first term was entirely in COVID, so we had to literally switch off, switch on all the work that we were doing online. So now hopefully this term I'll be able to continue all that has been happening. Say for example Shanai Bab Kathamal, that's one of the biggest storytelling competition in Goa, where we do this storytelling competition on one single day in 16 different centers across Goa. That's
only
for school students.
Okay.
So we have activities planned for different kind of students. So for higher secondary students, we have an allocation competition. Then we have a quiz competition for higher secondary college students. Then we have a youth festival called Goa Yuva Mahotsav, which is one of the biggest again. We already 25 years of age. We set up one kind of a book club called Konkani Vachan Vish during our COVID period. And it's now, of course, most of the activities were online during the COVID, but now we want to, post-COVID, we want to take them offline. And it's a bunch of youth that are, taking forward this book club. We discuss books, we do interviews with authors, and the main focus is that youth should speak on, the Konkani literature that is published. They should interview, they should interact with senior writers, and it is the youth who are taking this book club ahead. So it's entirely their book club. Konkani Bhasha Mandal is only facilitating the entire thing.
So it is good that you are empowering the children, the youth with the mother tongue from early on. But I could see very less interaction with the younger, maybe a little bit elder, 30 plus people. Do you have any plans for that?
We usually have a good connect with all the generations. Okay. Like for example, most of our earlier presidents are still in touch with us. They keep guiding us with all our activities and all the literature that we create. No doubt we are focusing on the children, but we do create a lot of literature for the elder generations, or rather I would say for everyone and anyone. We have a book in process which is being written by a veteran writer, Advocate Bab Bhemre. He's writing on how Konkani got the Sahitya Academy Manyatai, and kind of a journey of Konkani from those times, from the language. So we have certain kind of books being in process for them. We have some documentaries in process which are going to focus on the Konkani language agitation or the opinion poll for that matter. So we have all these things in process, but we firmly believe that Konkani has to reach the next generations. It is here to stay only if the next generations embrace Konkani, if they feel that they have to talk in Konkani, and it is important that we create new materials in new mediums where the children are today. For example, we are creating animations for them, we are creating videos for them. So we realize that their needs are changing. So we are trying to focus on their needs, their new mediums, and we are trying to take the language to them in their mediums.
It's a great effort. And what I want to ask is that for 60 years you've been doing all this, and it's a huge operational structure to get into so many schools, get through so many organizations, and to curate the Yuva Mahotsav is a mammoth task, I believe. So is it government granted? How or don't from membership you have? How do you manage the expenses?
Yes, so we have more than 2,500 members now, but we don't expect anything from them monetarily. For almost more than 50 years, we did not have any kind of government grants. We did get grants for the schools, but the schools are a different part altogether. They are managed by independent committees. But as far as work of Konkani Bhasha Mandal is concerned, all our activities, we generate funds from well-wishers or people who know our work and who give us money from their pockets. Recently we have started to get government grants, and government has also announced increased grants this budget session, so we hope to get that. We are yet to get that in our account, but we hope to get that. And we still have well-wishers who now know what our work is, so our work has reached them. We have some CSR funds coming in, we have some well-wishers from industries who help us, so that happens. So thankfully people who know the importance of promoting a language, of doing things in language, support us from time to time.
Yeah, great to hear people's love for language. And Anwesha, this Bachnalaya, the library that you spoke about, is it now it's a physical library and it is across schools that children are taking? How is the structure?
No, the Konkani Vachan Vish, no, that's not the library. Konkani Vachan Vish is like a book club. Okay. So we set this up online during the COVID times, and we invited youth to speak on different books, to speak on different genres of literature, to interview senior writers, and the youth who actually spoke in these different programs, they became part of the organizing team of Konkani Vachan Vish. Okay. So that's how it's rolling. Those who have been part as speakers are now taking it forward. They are organizing different programs online, and they will now organize it in different colleges, different places across Goa, where now we will have physical presence of these authors. So the idea was to involve youth as much as possible, and also we do hear a lot of times that youth today don't read, or if they read they don't react or they don't talk. So we wanted to kind of answer those questions. So I think Vachan Vish was a good answer to that entire confusion. Yeah. And
Anwesha, I would like to ask you about your books, the poetry collection that have won you the Sahitya Academy Yuva Puraskar award. Can you tell me the backstory, the genesis, the inspiration?
Yes, so I won the Yuva Sahitya Puraskar in 2016 for my first poetry collection, which was titled Sulus. After that I have written another 3 poetry collections. So when I look back, I feel that poetry collection was really new, and when I look at my journey, I feel that yes, I have come a long way, and I started writing at the age of some 12, I think. I wrote my first poem, and my father was a writer. He was also part of the Konkani movement. So that's how the love of the language, I got it in the childhood. And I started writing. But when I look back, I feel that my first poetry collection was more about me, more about my experiences. It had everything. It had love, it had emotions, it had anger, but it was more about me. And when I look at my writings now, I feel that I have now started to, inculcate a bit of others' experiences also, some social issues also. And yes, to some extent I feel I have improved upon. And that's the reason I dared to publish my books, because even when I published my first book, I had this a huge question mark whether I should publish or not, because my father was my biggest critic throughout. He actually tore my poems and threw in the dustbin if he found them not worthy. So I came from that background. So I lost my father at a very young age. So there was no one to actually guide me when I published my first book. There were very few friends. Of course, they gave very frank opinions, but now I have a lot of people who keep criticizing me, keep evaluating me, and keep guiding me. most importantly. So I feel yes, my literature is improving day by day, but yes, there is a long way to go. And Konkani is I wouldn't say it's a small language, but we are a small community. Yes. So we tend to get a lot of appreciation very fast instead of criticism. So I think we have to keep self-evaluating, and that's what helps. And fortunately, I have some very good friends who would straight away tell me what is right or wrong, and if they don't like my writings, they will straight away tell me. So I think yeah, that journey has helped, and I hope I can improve better and write better.
True, like you said, mentorship is really necessary, and like guidance, and can I ask you about who are your idols? who do you look up to when you, as a writer or as a poet? If you can give us any names.
There are a lot. I wouldn't want to name anyone in particular, but like I said, I was very fortunate to get guidance of some of the senior most writers in Konkani because of my father. From someone like Ravindra Kayekar, who brought us the first Nanpit, I could go to his place, I could sit with him, discuss with him, because he knew my father very well. And I think most of the writers, most of the senior most writers, I have spoken to them at a very young age. I have read their literature. I have had the opportunity to discuss with them, and I think it has helped a lot. And I think this is the case with most of us in Goa. I always say that we can, the most of the award-winning writers would welcome you open-handedly in their houses, whether it is Damodar Mausar or whether it is Madhav Borkar or any writer for that matter. So I think we have to take advantage of this. We have to take guidance of these writers and move ahead. Yeah.
Well, it's a great community bonding,
Absolutely.
like there's no walls because you just got a award and you do not wall yourself. It's great. So I think we're coming to an end for this conversation. I would like to ask you, you do a lot of work with the children, like you have mentioned. You were doing book clubs.
Yeah.
You were making ambassadors of Konkani language in different schools. You were grooming them. And what are the challenges that you find, if there is any challenges?
Yes, there are challenges. I think sometimes you even get frustrated when something that you have planned doesn't work the way. You do face a lot of criticism as the president of such a big organization.
What kind of criticism?
A lot of people have different expectations. So things have obviously changed from what it was like in 1962 and what it is now. But people do have expectations that you do certain things in a particular way, like how it happened, years back. There are people who wouldn't understand the challenges of today's times. But I think all these things have to be put at the back, and you have to keep working. And the biggest advantage that I have as a president of Konkani Bhasha Mandal is the young force that I have. Like just in the morning, I visited one professor, one principal in a higher secondary, and she said that it is a pleasure to see such a young president of a 60-year-old organization. But that's the legacy. And Konkani Bhasha Mandal has always believed in passing on the baton to young generation. And if you see today's committee of Konkani Bhasha Mandal, the average age of our entire committee is something 30 to 35 years. So I think that's an advantage. So I would look at the advantages more than the challenges. Yes. Challenges would obviously be there, but you have to move ahead for the love of Konkani, and so that you are able to work in the way you want.
It's a great learning. It's a great motivation to hear from you that how to go ahead. Only think about the advantages and not dwell upon the disadvantages. Very cool. Yes, Anwesha, like from Konkani Bhasha Mandal, we have heard, like, and the audience also heard that what you have been doing with the school children and the children in general. And what are the other things that you also do on a personal basis for the children?
Yeah, so I started something called as Abhinav Creations in 2015 with my business partner Amol Kamath, and we were actually moving from school to school with a bundle of books, and from there we started to do book exhibitions in schools. And while in one of the schools, one of the teachers suggested us that why don't we do some summer camps or activities for kids. So that's how the idea came, and we started doing these summer camps in Margao. We wanted to name the summer camp. So we constantly kept on saying that that name has to be something which talks about macha, fun basically.
Yeah.
And then
Exciting,
we finally, then we finally named it macha. So people identify us as now macha people, and we do these camps for children. So these are of course summer camps. So I also do a lot of activities with children, and I think it's not just fun working with children, but you learn a lot with children. Like people always ask us what do you want to tell the children, or is there any morals that you want to tell the children. I think it's just worthy of learning from children, learning the frankness they have, learning the joy that they give you. And I've seen so many children just getting along with each other like anything. I mean, they just met 5 minutes ago and you would see them playing along with each other. You'll see them fighting with each other, and the next moment they would just get along well. So I think more than we giving something to children, the children have given me a lot, and whatever little creativity or whatever little energy that you see in me is all derived from them. So I think it's worth working with them and worth gaining from them also.
True. And coming back to summer camps that you organize, what are the themes that you do? For example, do you teach them critical thinking?
Yeah.
Do you teach them scientific exploration? And how do you do it? If you can tell us the structure of it.
Yeah, so the basic idea is that they should have fun in their holidays. We really don't want to burden them, but we do want them to learn things while having fun. So we introduce science, we introduce small science experiments where they have fun, they enjoy it, and they also learn the scientific principles.
Okay.
We introduce them Konkani songs, Konkani poems, Konkani stories, and instead of giving them the morals, instead of ending the story with the moral of the story is, we let them derive whatever they want from the stories. We actually do small skits and things with them using those stories. So while they play along with the story, they themselves realize, they themselves learn from those stories. Recently we also inculcate something like happiness quotient in this entire camp, laughter activities and things like that, where they do have fun, but they eventually they go home with some additional value in their life. Yes.
And any message in the end to the youth? No, maybe not only to the youth. Any idea to inculcate the love for Konkani, the mother tongue? If you have to say anything.
I don't think I'm something great to give a message, but I think all of us should understand one thing, that Konkani is our identity. If we go anywhere, I don't think we have anything else to showcase as a Goan or as a Konkani person. I mean, nobody can identify us on what clothes we wear or how we look. So the moment we start talking in Konkani or conversing in Konkani, then anyone can quickly identify us as a Konkani or a Goan person.
True.
So I think we have to contribute in whatever way possible. Not everyone would be able to write, not everyone may be able to speak in Konkani, but there are various means in which one can contribute. One can contribute through music, one can contribute to cuisine, one can contribute through making videos, making Insta reels, or everything. I mean, I look at all these things as a contribution to Konkani, and I think you don't need to even identify yourself with a particular organization or anything. You can individually contribute to the language. Only if we do that, we will be able to take forward our language and preserve our Konkani identity, and I think Konkani is part of that identity. So that's all I would want to say.
Yeah, like to add up on that, now there's a Konkani Wikipedia page.
Yes.
And
Konkani is on Google now.
Konkani fonts are getting there.
Yes.
These are also various ways to promote and enrich the culture. Thank you for your time, and lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
And all the best for whatever your next projects are.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, audience. We'll see you next week.